Heard it here first. Now, let's talk about the players that give you the ick. Who are the players that you want to avoid? Who are the players who, when you see them pop up, you're like, I wonder what sucker is going to get them? And part of that equation, of course, is based on the average ADP, perhaps. Maybe they're not a bad player, but maybe they're overvalued.
Is like you just nailed it. You just literally took my line. Now I'm going to look like a copycat bitch. No, we don't hate players. We hate players at cost, and at cost is going to be crushing people this year. I'm going to give people a couple funky ones, all right? And I want people to continue to do some research on their own as they investigate this. Puka Nakua is having some knee issues, folks, and it's a little under the radar. And he's going at the end of the first, early second. This could end up lingering problem for them. The anybody who's a medical doctor, can you be anything other than a medical doctor? I guess not. I don't know.
You could be Dr. Dre in
You
theory.
could be Dr. Dre. That's right. They seem to have a little bit of hesitation. He's not practicing consistently. He's a little bit limited. They're saying he's not, but people who are actually at the practice observing reports are saying that he's not competing like the rest of their wide receivers core are. I would be a little hesitant if he falls in your drafts. Maybe that's something I'd feel good about up swing wise, but that's something I don't love. Josh Jacobs is another one who's going in that second, third, who I think people are going to believe that he's going to be the same bell cow that he was in Vegas. It's not the case. It's not how Matt LaFleur runs his offenses. How much better Aaron Jones was than A.J. Dillon is obvious. However, they didn't have a single season where they were both healthy, where Aaron Jones out-carried A.J. Dillon more than 30 attempts. I mean, they like to run out secondary running backs. So I think people are thinking they're getting this gem in the second round that's not going to be there. Another one I don't like at all, and today really smashed it for me, is Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco had the most volume-driven season you're just ever going to see from a running back last year. And Patrick Mahomes, because of his greatness, teams are playing three deep against three high safety against him, and literally just the box is open for Isaiah Pacheco to run. He was 27th in success rate and 26th in EPA per rush. That's not good. That is below guys that would absolutely blow your mind. And they bring in Samaje Perine today to kind of, shore up that third down Jerick McKinnon role that, we're kind of used to them having a little bit of a mixed backfield. I have to say something right now.
Go ahead.
I was never excited for a running back more than I was in 2018 for Jerick McKinnon on the 49ers.
Me too,
Going
man.
going into that year, I was just devastated when he tore his ACL. That was an all-time moment for me.
It's so funny you say that. I was so stoked for him. And like he just seemed like such a vibe. Like I would just watch his like mic'd up on the Vikings and be like, oh, this dude's hilarious. This guy's such a fun guy. Like what could ever go wrong? And of course it was anything that could go wrong went wrong. And
the Spark Score champion, killing it in Minnesota, going to come over. He was going to be like everything we saw from Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, Mostert, all of them combined. He was that running back, and it just got taken from us.
He was. The plan for him is now the Christian McCaffrey cinematic universe. That was the plan. And it's a shame because you're absolutely right. That's a very deep cut. And I have a friend, Jason Aponte, who would very much appreciate you bringing up Jet McKinnon.
Good. That's just good times. Good times to be had. It's going to be a funky year. I would say this. If you're looking for guys this year, if you're going through your draft and you're wondering really whether or not I should draft this person or whether or not I shouldn't, I would probably say you shouldn't because there's so many guys this year that are going to make you happy the second you see them available that I would let your heart take you this year more than any other year since I've been playing.
Got it. Well, any other players besides Puka and Pacheco that stand out to you?
We can kind of run the gambit on this one. One that's been really rubbing me the wrong way that I think is another little funky one is James Cook, running back from Buffalo. James Cook was kind of set up for what was probably a career year last year, and it was kind of hit or miss. He had some big games. He had nice volume stats at the end of the year, but he didn't have a lot of spike weeks, which is kind of what you need, right? especially where he's being drafted. He's being drafted in that, maybe late third, early fourth round this year. He doesn't really have that top 7 to top 10 high volume or high spike week potential that you want from a guy that you might get from like a Kenneth Walker, or if you go a little bit later, Joe Mixon, James Conner. Even if you want to get a little crazier later, like I don't want somebody who is going to be at my running back in the third, fourth round. I don't want high floor. I want high ceiling, because you can get high floor later from a lot of these other guys. You even move another round back if you want to switch to wide receiver. Here's a kind of a funky one. I hate to be the guy to throw like poo poo on this, but people kind of thought that Zay Flowers had a breakout last year, which he kind of did. He definitely had a good year for a rookie, and I would be welcoming Zay Flowers on my team if he fell, but at his current ADP, which is kind of going in that 5th round, he did most of his work with Mark Andrews out of the lineup. I don't feel terrific about that. I like guys who are going to be high target earners, and he's more of an inconsistent target earner. It's a little bit more game script dependent than you would want. They're going to continue to run the ball more than any team in the league. I would push off a little bit on some of those guys, maybe let somebody else take the bait.
Totally. Well, we appreciate you warning us about those folks. Zay Flowers is an interesting one. I actually was very tempted on a Zay Flowers opportunity during a draft. I passed on it, but we will see. Will I live to regret it, or will I just be passive aggressive to you for the rest of my life? We'll find out.